to eliminate the Electoral College and expand the Supreme Court until they get their way, the party that uses the Department of Justice as an armed wing of the political establishment, that is the real threat to our constitutional republic. That is what the voters in Wyoming and real Republicans around this country are voting to prevent. Let's bring in our panel to discuss the waves rippling across the country from Cheney's loss last night. Hogan Gidley, former deputy press secretary for President Trump, and Erin Elmore, attorney and Republican strategist. It is so great to see both of you tonight. Thanks for being here. Erin, speaking of this January 6th committee, speaking of a lack of loyalty, we're now hearing that former Vice President Mike Pence, he seems to be all but begging the committee here to call him for testimony. I mean, why bother even mentioning this, that he'd consider it unless he wanted to be out there? What do you think of this, Erin?
I think that Mike Pence wants to be sort of the opposite of Donald Trump and run for office. But what he should realize now is 8 of the 10 people that voted against voted to get Donald Trump out for the January 6th situation, 8 of the 10 of them are not going to be heading back to Congress. So that should say, hey, Mike Pence, read the room. Liz Cheney lost by 37 points. That's not a slim margin. That is huge. And if he's trying to be the candidate that's going to stand up against Donald Trump, he should realize and read these tea leaves that are saying, this is not what the American people want. The Republican Party that you're striving for no longer exists. We are a grassroots, we the people, America First initiative, and you are part of this sort of old establishment, old guard, the Clinton, Bush, Cheney dynasty. You're hitching your cart to the wrong horse, and that's a fact.
Yeah, and speaking of people that voters aren't really interested in seeing run for office, Liz Cheney is essentially teasing a run now. We might start seeing candidates like Liz file for the presidential election in 2024. Trump had a response to that possibility today, and he said this, quote, "The fake news media is claiming that Liz Cheney has such a wonderful and bright political future."
Circa 2020, that's the kind of campaign she would probably run. But look, I think Erin hit on something that was really important when you're talking about Mike Pence and all the others on the right who are thinking about trying to be a foil against Donald Trump. The time of the self-loathing Republican, the lovable loser Republican, is completely over. Donald Trump taught us you can fight back, you can stand up for what you believe in, you don't have to buy into the mainstream media's narrative. Tell them no more. You have more and more candidates stepping up and saying it's the America First policies that will get us back to the record-setting success we saw in record-setting time, where we had a reasonable southern border policy. We had low taxes.
Punches at Trump, the harder he punches back. And, we're seeing it not only with Liz Cheney's downfall, but we saw it after the FBI raid at Mar-a-Lago. I saw today that the political fundraising for President Trump was more than $1 million a day last week after that FBI raid. Erin, I got 30 seconds to give you the last word here. Your thoughts?
Massive backfire by Merrick Garland and the Democrats and possibly Joe Biden. Every American, basically left, right, and center, has to say to themselves, unless they have total Trump derangement syndrome, this is not what America is about. This is not what we do in a constitutional republic. This is not what we do to a former president of the United States of America. I think Americans, if they haven't already woken up, they're awake, and that's why you're seeing a huge bump for Donald Trump and people who love freedom and respect our country.
All right. Hogan Gidley and Erin Elmore, great to see both of you tonight. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.